Hello and welcome to our channel. Today, we're going to delve into the tragic story of the extinction of time travelers from the year 2266. What happened to these advanced beings that led to their disappearance from the timeline forever? Join me as we unravel this mystery and learn from the mistakes of the past. The year is 2266, and humanity has achieved what was once thought impossible: time travel. The first time travelers from this year were hailed as heroes, heralding a new era of scientific progress and innovation. However, as time went by, the people of 2266 began to take their advanced technology for granted. As their reliance on time travel grew, they began to overlook the consequences of their actions. The time travelers from 2266 would visit the past frequently, interacting with the people and changing the course of history. While some of these changes were positive, others had devastating effects on the timeline. The people of 2266 believed that they were invincible, that their advanced technology would always protect them. But they were wrong. One day, a group of time travelers from 2266 journeyed to a critical point in the past and made a small but significant change. This alteration had catastrophic consequences that would eventually lead to the extinction of the time travelers from 2266. Their mistake was not in altering the timeline, but in failing to take the necessary precautions to protect themselves from the consequences of their actions. As they continued to travel through time, they unknowingly created a chain reaction that would ultimately lead to their downfall. The effects of their actions became more apparent as time went by. First, it was the small things, minor changes in the timeline that were easily fixed. But then came the bigger alterations, each one more significant than the last. Eventually, these changes became so severe that they could not be undone, leading to the extinction of the time travelers from 2266. Although the time travelers from 2266 were advanced and had the technology to travel through time, they were not prepared for the unexpected consequences of their actions. They did not anticipate the ripple effect that their actions would have on the timeline, leading to changes that were beyond their control. Their failure to consider the long-term consequences of their actions was a fatal mistake that ultimately led to their extinction. As they continued to alter the timeline, they created paradoxes that could not be resolved, causing a chain reaction of events that eventually led to their demise. It is also important to note that the time travelers from 2266 were not the only ones affected by their actions. Their changes in the timeline had far-reaching consequences that affected countless others. People who never had the chance to experience time travel, who had no control over the changes that were made, suffered the consequences of the time travelers' mistakes. The extinction of the time travelers from 2266 is a testament to the fragility of time and the importance of being responsible when traveling through it. It reminds us that even the most advanced technology cannot protect us from the unforeseen consequences of our actions. The extinction of the time travelers from 2266 also highlights the ethical implications of time travel. With the ability to change the past and influence the future, comes the responsibility to consider the moral implications of our actions. The time travelers from 2266 did not fully consider the impact of their actions on the people and events of the past. They failed to recognize that their actions could cause harm to innocent people, alter the course of history in unpredictable ways, and create paradoxes that could threaten the very fabric of time itself. This ethical dilemma is something that all time travelers must grapple with. The power to change the past and influence the future is a weighty responsibility, and it is important to approach it with a sense of caution and respect. The extinction of the time travelers from 2266 also raises questions about the nature of time itself. It is possible that the time travelers' actions created a paradox that resulted in their own extinction. Perhaps their interference with the timeline led to a future that could not exist without their changes, resulting in a paradoxical loop that ultimately led to their demise. The nature of time and the potential consequences of time travel are still largely unknown. The extinction of the time travelers from 2266 serves as a stark reminder that we must approach time travel with a sense of humility and respect for the unknown. The extinction of the time travelers from 2266 also raises important questions about the limits of science and technology. While the time travelers possessed advanced technology, it ultimately could not save them from their own mistakes. This is a reminder that science and technology must be used responsibly, and that we must always consider the potential consequences of our actions. We must recognize the limitations of our knowledge and technology, and approach them with a sense of caution and respect for their power. The extinction of the time travelers from 2266 serves as a warning about the dangers of hubris. The time travelers may have believed that they had control over time itself, but their ultimate demise shows that even the most advanced technology cannot guarantee safety or success. Hubris has been the downfall of many civilizations throughout history, and the time travelers from 2266 are a cautionary tale about the dangers of overconfidence and arrogance. The extinction of the time travelers from 2266 also highlights the importance of learning from history. By altering the timeline, the time travelers may have unknowingly erased important events and lessons from the past, ultimately leading to their own demise. This serves as a reminder that history is not just a record of the past, but a guide for the future. We must learn from the mistakes and successes of those who came before us, and use that knowledge to inform our decisions and actions. The extinction of the time travelers from 2266 shows the interconnectedness of all things in the universe. Their actions may have seemed insignificant at the time, but they had far-reaching and unexpected consequences that ultimately led to their extinction. This is a reminder that we are all connected, and that our actions have a ripple effect that can impact others in ways we may not even realize. It is important to approach our decisions and actions with a sense of mindfulness and consideration for their potential impact on others. Another important lesson that can be learned from the extinction of the time travelers from 2266 is the need for collaboration and communication. The time travelers may have been a small group, but their actions had a significant impact on the timeline and the future. This is a reminder that we are all interconnected, and that our decisions and actions can impact others in ways we may not even realize. It is important to work together, share information, and communicate effectively in order to make informed decisions that benefit everyone. The extinction of the time travelers from 2266 also highlights the need for caution and respect when exploring the unknown. Time travel is a relatively new and untested technology, and we must approach it with a sense of humility and respect for the unknown. We must also consider the potential consequences of our actions, and work to mitigate any potential harm. This requires careful planning, research, and consideration of all possible outcomes. The extinction of the time travelers from 2266 serves as a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of cherishing every moment. The time travelers may have believed that they had all the time in the world, but their lives were ultimately cut short by their own actions. This is a reminder to live in the present, appreciate the beauty and wonder of the world around us, and make the most of the time we have. In conclusion, the extinction of time travelers from 2266 serves as a cautionary tale for all those who seek to travel through time. While the idea of exploring different eras and changing history may be tempting, it's essential to consider the consequences of our actions carefully. We must remember that every action we take, no matter how small, has the potential to change the course of history forever. So let us learn from the mistakes of the past and use our knowledge to create a better future for ourselves and those who come after us. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep exploring.